I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Veterinary Pathobiology. And today I'm going to talk about essential AI and digital tools for veterinary researchers. And don't worry, this presentation will be recorded, so you will have access to it after this talk. So don't worry about like taking any notes, memorizing anything. Just have to pay attention on whether you think this tool will be helpful for you in academic writing or not. So first, this is the QR code to my personal website. I'm going to refer back to it multiple times during this talk. So if you have a moment, please take out your phone and scan this QR code. So you will have link to all my previous talks and also a handout, which include all the links of the digital tools that I will be mentioning in this talk. So obviously you can see that I'm someone who is very passionate about the artificial intelligence development in veterinary medicine. And I also care about its application in research, also in education. So previously I have written this review article focusing on ChatGPT's application in veterinary medicine. So if you're interested, it is also available in my personal website. You can see the box that I highlighted here. And if you are a diplomat or a resident in veterinary internal medicine, you have free access to my webinar on the ACBIM website, which is also available here. And additionally, previously I have presented another topic talking about how I streamline academic writing using digital and AI tools. So if you are interested in that, you can also access to it on my personal website. And today's talk is going to be different than that one. So if you go back to watch that one, it will not waste your time. It will be a totally different content. In that talk, I'm focusing on the comprehensive workflow. So you start from the acquisition of those references, and then you move on to like how you organize them in your collection, and also using some note-taking tools to help you understand the content. And then later I talk about how to incorporate that into academic writing. So that would be the talk that's already available on YouTube. And it's essentially a video version of this article that I published on Nature Career column a couple of months ago. And that's also available here. So if you haven't done it already, this is the QR code that takes you to the link of all the tools, and you can just click on them and you have easy access to them. And it's available here in outline. So today we're going to talk about something that's a little bit different. I'll start with just basic concept about large language model, and then move on to how I use that to search, to set up tasks, do deep research, and also how to make a flow chart using those digital tools. And then we'll talk about Storm, which is a tool developed by Stanford University. And all these tools are focusing on how you create content. And then I'll move on to talk about ResearchRabbit versus connected papers. These two tools will help you find papers. And then I will talk about Research Bytes, which is the journal club tools that help you turn a PDF file of the paper into slide presentation with just one click. So these are the list of tools that I'm going to mention today. This is the updated list, and which is also available on my website. It's one of those links. Okay, so after today's session, you will be able to learn to use large language models effectively for research. You will know how to use AI tools to identify, explore related scientific literature, and how to summarize research paper quickly with AI assistance and transform papers into presentation using AI tool. So first of all, I want to emphasize that tools are tools are tools. So just be open-minded that it doesn't hurt for you to learn more tools, right? You can learn it and then decide whether you use it or not. And whether it is a good tool or a bad tool, it depends on your purpose. Like your legs are good, but you probably don't want to use them to go to UK. You want to take the airplane, right? So it depends on the purpose. And also, a good tool can also be used for a bad purpose. Like I see people using these AI tools to write for them, which I don't think that's a good use of them. I think they can help you to, refine your ideas, kind of rewrite what you have been written, but not from the zero to create a whole new content for you. And also, no tool is perfect. So efficiency is everything. If you find yourself spending a lot of time learning how to use these new tools, instead you can use those chunk of time to use your old tool to achieve your goal, then probably you don't have to learn to use the new tool. So it also depends on like which tools can help you achieve my goal more quickly. And then also, I consider myself as a digital nomad, which means that I use multiple tools to solve one problem. I will not just stick to one large language model. I try multiple and then pick the best one or compare their results. And as I said, it is okay to keep using your old method if it suits you the best. Okay, so just very basic concept. We talk about AI, ML, Gemini, LLM. Basically, you just have to remember AI is the buzzword, the big word, that it's an umbrella term that covers everything related to simulation of intelligent behavior. And within that umbrella, there is machine learning, which means that this algorithm can learn from a large amount of data without being directed to look for specific features. And then under ML, there are also generative AI, which means that those are machine learning algorithms specialized in creating new content. And of course, the one we are most familiar with would be large language models. They can produce human-like text, for example, like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, or Grok. So large language models, we are most familiar with ChatGPT that's developed by OpenAI, which is the most popular one. There are also other large language models from the big tech company, including Gemini, created by Google, Meta, created by Meta, Copilot from Microsoft. And there are also some like smaller startup companies like Claude, which is created by Anthropic. There are also Grok from Elon Musk's company, and also Perplexity, DeepSeek, Lechet as well. So how these large language models work, they're actually a probabilistic model. So it calculates the probability of different word sequence, and it predicts the likelihood of which word would be the most likely next word based on the input that you have given. So it's a statistical tool for generating text and understanding language. And one way to understand how it works is if you go to this website called Tick Tokenizer, and you put in your usual prompt when you interact with a large language model. For example, could you help me edit this email? And then you can see how the model views your input as tokens. So they count it as 8 tokens. Could you help me edit this email? And then each word actually has a corresponding number in this gigantic large language model system. And then use the current 8 tokens that you have put in to predict what's the most likely next word would that be. And based on the next word, combine the new combination and then predict the next one. So for example, if you put in, how are you? I am. Most likely it would be fine. However, there's also a probability that it could be well or good, but because fine has the highest probability based on the model, so it will be its output. So now you have, how are you? I'm fine. And then use that to predict, okay, what's the most likely next response? Most likely would be thank you. So that's how the model works. So that tells you every word you put in when you interact with the large language model has an effect. So always start a new conversation if you switch the topic. Never try to ask 10,000 unrelated questions in the same conversation chain. You want to open a new conversation to do that. And also remember that these model, the so-called training, or we call pre-train, has been done already. So if you ask the ChatGPT 4.0, when is your pre-training data cutoff? It will tell you it's June 2024. However, there are also something we call post-training that's kind of like adjusting the persona of AI. So if you use ChatGPT, you know that they recently launched a new model called Monday which is a sarcastic model of ChatGPT. When you have a really bad mood, you can talk to it and maybe it will make you happier. But that's so-called the post-training. So without the search function, if the model that you're using does not have the capability to search online, you are accessing those outdated information. And depends on like what questions you ask. For example, if you ask, how do I write a good academic abstract? That's probably fine if the information is outdated. But if you're asking about, okay, how would they, when did the Pope die? Then you need a new updated information. So the current models that we have, which one has the AI search function? Most of them do. For Claude, you need to pay for it. For Copilot, there's no AI search function. So just be aware when you interact with Copilot. So this AI search, as I mentioned, if you ask about the pre-training data cutoff, it will tell you it's June 2024. If you want to search for updated information, one really good use for that for your daily life is to search which is the cheapest product. So if you search, I want to purchase this Waterpik water flosser for teeth, and I click on this search button, and it will provide me the most updated search results. And also, ChatGPT offered this task function for the paid users. So actually, you can set up a task for the ChatGPT to search based on the frequency you set up. So you can set the ChatGPT to search, every day at 9 a.m. or every week or every month for specific information. So you don't have to do it manually by yourself. For example, if I wanted ChatGPT to notify me when this particular product is lower than $35, I can set up that, and then I can also edit it, can change the frequency and the time when I will receive the notification. And the notification will be sent to your email as well as on your phone. So speaking of AI search, Perplexity is a really useful tool. So how many of you already have Perplexity account? Just 3? Oh, you need to sign up for that today, like right now. So if you scan this QR code, you can access to Perplexity like right now. As long as you use the Tamu email to register, it offers you 1 year of free pro account. And also there is a recent post that Perplexity is going to partnership with Texas A&M University to offer this type of AI search to everybody on campus. So what's really good about Perplexity is a lot of times, recently I found myself using Perplexity even more than using the traditional Google search, because you can put in the whole sentence when you're asking questions. For example, if you want to figure out, how they elect the next pope, usually you need to put like pope space election space how. But now you can just put the whole sentences, and you can even ask more detailed questions, being like, when would that happen? And how does that work? How long does it take? Would it happen after the funeral or before the funeral? Blah, blah, blah. You can ask like all type of questions and all in one queue. So basically, if you have the account, have access to Perplexity, just put in your question, and then it will provide you the answer. And what's really nice about this tool, then the ChatGPT approach is that you have visual links. Those are the source of the information, and then you have the answer. And then now they provide you with additional pages of related products, so you can purchase directly through Perplexity, but I have never used this function. And what's really nice about it, and what I found the most useful, is if I have questions about instruction or manuals, or for example, how do I find tax exempt for my ChatGPT subscription? If you want to find those information online, it takes you a lot of time. For example, my question here is, how to use preset button on my Olympus BX46 microscope. If you want to find that information, you probably would get to the instruction manual of the microscope and you have to read through it yourself. But for this type of question, I like to use Perplexity, and because it tells me, okay, here are some links for that, and these are exactly how I should do to use the reset button on my microscope. So it's super helpful. And also, down below the page, they also provide you some other relevant questions that other people would ask about this particular microscope. So you haven't used Perplexity, please use it right now. Because a lot of times, your academic question about your research, you can simply just put it in, and then you can also adjust the search function, whether you want to search just general web or you want to search academic results, or you want to focus on social, for example, Reddit forum, you can specify where the AI will search the information for you. So it's pretty easy. Ever since I have using these tools that every time, in the journal club or in the lab discussion, people will ask, I wonder, I wonder about like this research question, like whether somebody had done that previously. And usually the conversation stops right here, right? Everybody be wondering, being like, yeah, I don't know about that. But like if you have AI tools, you can quickly search for it and then you can quickly answer and share the results with your lab mates in the meeting. Okay, the next function I want to talk about is deep research in ChatGPT. How many of you have used deep research previously? Just 1, 2, 3? Okay, so you also need to learn how to use it. So deep research is basically like you have I'll say, college, undergrad level personal assistant. So you just treat it like that. So in the example they provided on the official website, what can I help with? You can say, compile a research report on how the retail industry has changed in the past 3 years. Use bullets and tables when necessary for clarity. So these are your input. And once you ask this question, what's really nice about the deep research is we'll ask question back to you, being like, what do you mean by that? What type of information do you need? Do you want me to search the papers in the recent 5 years, or you want me to search papers in the recent 10 or 15 years? So these are the questions. And after you provide the answer to those questions, it will start to do research for you. And what's really nice is at the same time, on the right panel, you can check its current progress of the research result. And so far, not just ChatGPT, but Perplexity also have this deep research if you sign up with your school account. Grok also have this deep research. Gemini also have this deep research. So for me personally, I will use all 4 tools to do the same task. And I will compare and contrast their results, and I will compile them and generate my own content. So when to use deep research? When you need to research a topic that you are not very familiar with, or when you need real-time data from different sources. So one example, I don't know if you noticed that email a while ago, there was a training program developed by Columbia University where you kind of need to sign up and then you need to identify 2 mentors out of the whole maybe 20 mentors who fits your research interest. And so previously, the approach would probably be, okay, I will just search, those mentor like individually and then check their research interest and focus and maybe read their papers and determine whether they could be my mentor in this program. But with deep research, I will just upload the list of mentors and then upload another document, be like, these are my research focus. And I'll say, please read those mentors' work and then find me the best match and explain why. So now I have the result immediately, and then I can check those results with the provided link so I can verify that what AI told me is true. So the other application example is, since I'm preparing a course to be launched in spring next year to teach veterinary students about AI, I wonder which US vet schools are currently offering AI courses in the DBN curriculum. So you can think about the traditional approach being like, okay, I will find a list of all US vet schools. I'll Google search Texas A&M space DBN curriculum, and I will try to search AI or artificial intelligence in their PDF file. But now what I would do is just to use the deep search function in ChatGPT. So I'll tell that here's a list of the ABMA accredited US vet schools, and I provide the link. And I will say, I want to know which ABMA accredited US vet schools offer artificial intelligence course in their DBN curriculum. If so, list the name of the course, number, and the link. And I say, for example, you can find the Texas A&M DBN curriculum here. So you have to be very specific in your instruction. Remember, you are interacting with a undergrad level student worker. You will not just tell the worker being like, hey, just check all the vet schools and find me whether they are AI courses or not. You will give very specific instruction on where to find those information, what are the keywords you're looking for. So now ChatGPT thinking, and boom, I got the results. So basically it's telling me that none of the US vet schools currently list as dedicated artificial intelligence course, but it does provide me with the link of their DBN curriculum, so I can also click on them to verify the results. So let's remember this one, Wisconsin Medicine, that there's no AI course identified. And when I click on the link, I can definitely access to their professional curriculum here. And here's the PDF file. But when I go down, I found, there is actually artificial intelligence applications for veterinary practice. So just remember, these tools are helpful, but they can make mistakes as well. So that's why I use multiple tools for the same function, for the same task. So I would do the same for Perplexity. When I click on auto, I can switch deep research. I copy and paste the same question. And then here is my results. So notice that it actually identified that Wisconsin course. Perplexity is very good. But also you notice that they also provide other informations like institutions with the AI integrated tools and electives. This is my own thing, so I'm pretty sure that's not a course, but they still provided information there. And also for Cornell, it's more like an initiative, but not a course. And I also did the same thing in Grok as well. So I click on the bottom of deep search and I copy and paste the question. And I got the answer that there's no ABMA accredited US school offer AI courses. So you can see that they can make mistake as well. And also I did the same thing for Gemini. And what's really nice about Gemini is now if you do the deep research, you can actually export the output into Google document. So you don't have to like copy and paste and create a PDF yourself. You can just automatically export it into Google document. So again, here's the result. Very nicely even compiled a table for me, and it identified this artificial intelligence for veterinary medicine in Wisconsin medicine. So in the end, Perplexity was able to find it, Gemini was able to find it, but not for ChatGPT and not for Grok. So that's why I use multiple tools for the same task. Next, I want to talk about Claude. Claude is another large language model. I usually don't use Claude because Claude is better in programming. If you have a lot of like programming related tasks, maybe Claude would be better for you. So what I would use Claude for is actually to make figures or flowcharts. So for example, if I ask like create an illustration showing that from the customer's perspective, the selling price minus cost represent the vet clinic's profit. From the vet clinic's perspective, the selling price minus cost represent the value created by the vet clinic. Use two bar charts to illustrate this. So if I use ChatGPT, this would be the results. Basically, I consider this chart as an ugly chart. And then if you use ask the same question in Claude, this would be the bar chart that you receive. So I think general, the output from Claude is more visually appealing. And what I really like about Claude is it can draw a flow chart to illustrate the experimental procedure of the study. So thinking about your paper, sometimes you want to make flow chart, but you have no idea how to make it. You know, and you have to consider, okay, what shape should I use? Should I use circle, rectangular? Do they mean different things? Do I have to put words above the arrows? You know, think about many different factors. But what I like to do is I just upload my research paper or my research proposal and being like, hey, make me a flow chart. And I got the result on the right-hand side. Oh no, this looks very complicated. You cannot edit it. So what would you do actually is you click on code and then you click on copy. you got the code, and then move on to draw.io, this website, and then you import it. This code is actually in a format called Mermaid. So if you import the Mermaid code here, hit insert, and you have very nice flowchart. You can change the color, you can change the shape, you can do everything you want, and it happens just in 1 second. So I would never waste my time, worry about, okay, I have to read through this paper, this proposal, and think about, okay, how do I organize a flowchart? AI can do it for you, and you just have to make edits afterward. So that's to me, it's very different. Like for somebody who know how to use AI tools, save you a ton of time. Just boost your work efficiency a lot. And also, recently, it gets very popular for people to make a Ghibli image using ChatGPT. So I also did it for this presentation. I just upload my picture and saying like, I'm doing this talk, and can you just make me a Ghibli style cover slide in the 16:9 format? And this is what I got. And it can also help me show how I prepare for this presentation, plan webinar, make slides, text recruitment, and host a webinar. Okay, so that's all about large language model. And if you feel lost being like, oh, I'm now having this information anxiety, I don't know how to keep up with all the new tools, there is a really nice website called Chatbot Arena where you can check all the current large language models, which one is the best. They have this leaderboard. So as you can see, the best one last time I checked was Grok. And then you have GPT, different models here. And you also have Gemini here as well. And there's also DeepSeek here as well. Okay, moving on to Storm, this website developed by Stanford University. So it is based on their paper into the unknown unknowns, engage human learning through participation in language model agent conversations. So basically what Storm would do for you is it will write a review paper for you based on any topic you give to him or she, I don't know. And then so if you put like the application of ChatGPT in veterinary medicine, and then it will further ask you, okay, what's your writing purpose? What's the purpose of this article? And you can describe that I want to write a scientific review paper, discuss the application of ChatGPT in different aspects of veterinary medicine, including education, clinical care, and research. And then boom, it will just create that article for you. And of course, you're not going to like copy and paste it for your personal use, but it is a really good tool for you to first get into an area that you don't know very much about, and it nicely break it down into different sections for you as a reference point. And then what's most beneficial about this tool is you can also see the brainstorming process. So if you click on that actually help you understand how AI approach this specific topic, and you can view it from different perspectives. So it starts with AI researcher. If you are a computer scientist specializing in artificial intelligence, then when you were asked about, can you explain how ChatGPT is currently being used in veterinary medicine, you can provide your perspective from a different angle. And also, it will ask question to AI as a veterinary practitioner, as a technician, or just a basic fact writer. So you can see how AI use different angles to approach this question. And this actually helps you when you're writing your own review paper to understand, okay, what are the questions that I should be asking? If I'm thinking from different angles, how can I answer this question? And also very nicely is you can show as PDF and just download it as a PDF file. So it's very easy to use. And also Storm recently offered another function. It's called Call Storm. So you can actually start a roundtable conversation with the AI agent to discuss your research idea. Next, I want to talk about how you find relevant papers. So one tool I really like to use is called ResearchRabbit. How many of you is using ResearchRabbit? One. Okay, great. So what's really nice about ResearchRabbit is that it connects to your Zotero collection. So Zotero is another citation management tool. The one that you are most familiar with is probably EndNote, which is proprietary, but Zotero is open source, so it's free. And Zotero also offers a lot of integration with AI tools. So as I talk about more tools, you'll realize that they all integrate with Zotero. And also Zotero offers free upgrade. And also it offers Mac, Windows, Linux system, and even on your iPad as well. So this is the PubMed search for a specific topic. And then you can click on Send to, Citation Manager, and all results on this page, and create a file, and that file can be imported into your Zotero collection. It's basically the same as you're using EndNote. So now you have your collection in Zotero. And so that's one way to use it. And the other way is if you download this Chrome extension called Zotero Connector, when you're using Google Scholar Search, instead of click on each one of them to import into the reference, you can actually click on this extension and then just click on which papers you want to download, and you can download all the citations at the same time. And the other way to use it is if you're browsing website and found a really interesting paper, you can just right click on the page and click on Zotero Connector, save to Zotero, embedded metadata, and then you can put it into your library, even under a specific folder in your Zotero. So it's very convenient. Okay, so back to ResearchRabbit. Once you connect to your Zotero collection, you can actually just click on one of your Zotero folder, for example, this one. And once you import all the papers into ResearchRabbit, you can click on connections to see the relationship of this between these papers. And then also you can click on later work to show whether there are some new papers that are published after the papers in your collection and what are their relationships. And one way I like to use it is to click on timeline. So I can compare, okay, on the right-hand side, everything in the blue color are the new papers that I haven't included in my collection. And I can click on one of them, be like, hey, is it relevant to my, review article writing? Is that, oh yeah, actually that's indeed relevant. And all I need to do is to click on add to my original collection. And then boom, it will show up in my Zotero. So I don't even have to, copy the title of the paper, go to PubMed or Google Scholar again, and then download it and import into Zotero, because it's all integrated. It's just right here. But the downside of that tool is if you only have one paper to start with, it is impossible for it to form this network and find other papers. So in that case, you can use another tool called Connected Papers. Basically, all you need to do is just have one paper, and it will found additional papers for you, and they're arranged according to their similarity. So if I put in my review paper here, it can build a graph, even just based on my own paper. So you can see my original one is up here, and the content is over here. If you go down, you can see like all the prior works published before my review paper, but they're a similar topic, and also all the later publications of my review paper. So even just you have just one paper as your start point, it can help you identify many more relevant papers. Okay, the next tool I think would be very useful for you is Research Bytes, the journal club tool. So we know a lot of times we discuss papers in lab meetings, right? You have a PowerPoint and you have to turn that into whatever, there's like a slide presentation. It takes a lot of time to copy and paste the images and also the words. And you have different slides. You have like the title, the objectives, methods, results, things like that. But with these tools, all you have to do, for example, I am looking at this PDF file. You can see there are images in this paper, there are all tables. So all I have to do is just upload it to this tool, and I can click on, I want the expert level of audience. I want to make it as long as possible because I can cut it down later, and I want as detailed as possible. And once I click on generate presentation, it takes about like 1 to 2 minutes, not very long. And then it will tell you the presentation is ready. So once you download it, here is its output. It's amazing. You have PDF, PowerPoint files, everything you want. You have introduction, canine hip dysplasia as a model. And then you even have images here, the prevalence, everything. So that saves you a lot of time. I'm not saying that you're going to use this to do journal club presentation right away, but I'm telling you this is a very good draft to start with, right? So save you a lot of time from copy and paste. Of course, you still need to read the paper, but if I can start with a draft, I would prefer to start with a draft instead of just staring at my empty PowerPoint slide file. So lastly, I want to talk about my stand on AI. I feel AI has become the new minimum standard. So if for example, if I give my graduate student a task, but the output is not even as good as the AI, I would rather just use AI. I would just use AI deep research, being like, hey, read these 5 papers and give me a summary. So you need to make sure you have the ability to perform better than AI. Not quicker, but they're definitely going to be quicker than you. But based on the content generated by AI, how can I utilize my knowledge, my unique perspective to make it better? So now it adds some value to the work. And because now AI is the minimum standard, if you're not doing any better than AI, then why do we need you, right? And so because of that, I think we need to ensure that everyone has equal access to AI tools, because this is the absolute essential right now. And we as educators, we need to level out our skills so we can teach our graduate student, teach our student how to use it, make sure they are up to date on these AI tools. And some people will argue, especially some educators from older generation, they will say, oh, use AI, then you don't know how to do critical thinking. But as I'm showing you how I use these AI tools, I get the results and I review them and I decided whether that's helpful for me or not. And based on the result, I ask follow-up questions to clarify what it means. So all these actions are actually critical thinking in action. So I don't think use this type of tools will make you stupid. I think it will make you more efficient and make you smarter. And always remember that tools are tools are tools. So use them as you need them and see how helpful they are. And never blindly trust AI. One thing I always don't understand is that people will ask about, okay, so how much can you trust it? I was like, there are so many websites on the internet. And when you use Google search, you obviously know that some websites look very sketchy and you shouldn't click on it. So it's the same as the AI result, right? Just use your own judgment. I will never blindly trust every single website on Google. Then why would I do the same for the AI output? I just use the same approach when I view those AI tools. So lastly, a little bit of shameless self-promotion. If you're interested in this type of like AI news, new tool, new stuff, you're welcome to follow my Facebook page. I have English one, I also have one in traditional Chinese.